Thank you for listening to this PodcastOne production. Now available on Apple Podcasts, PodcastOne, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.
The following program is a PodcastOne.com production.
From Hollywood, California, by way of the Broken Skull Ranch, this is the Steve Austin Show.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Now, here's Steve Austin.
I'm talking to David Arquette, former world heavyweight champion for World Championship Wrestling, just resumed his pro wrestling career a couple of weeks back. Dude, what are you up to?
I saw that hurt you having to say that. I'm getting back into wrestling 18 years later. I just had my first match. It was amazing against RJ City. I got my butt kicked, but it's all right. It was good. It was a good match. A championship wrestling from Hollywood.
Man, where were you born? You were born in Virginia.
Virginia, yeah.
And then obviously, you know, your family heavily involved in acting and stuff like that. And you came out here to L.A. at what age?
I was 5 when we moved out here. Yeah, from Chicago. We moved to Chicago for a little. But then my dad, he was an actor for like 45 years, character actor on the Waltons and all kinds of shows.
Well, when did you get into wrestling?
I loved wrestling since growing up. You know, I saw Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, and back at the sports arena. We'd go see all the road shows, you know, growing up. So I always loved it. And then Ready to Rumble happened. And, you know, it was just a chance for me to sort of, you know, tap back into something I loved as a kid and sort of tap into like the crazy fan that I was. And then I got to meet all my heroes on it. You know, I got to travel with Hulk Hogan and Sting and, you know, Diamond Dallas Page, and just get to know these guys. Then in promoting the movie, they, you know, had me go on the road. And I ended up the champ. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. So, but I never really got an opportunity to wrestle. So I just, 18 years later, after people giving me a lot of grief, I was like, well, I want to do it right. So I've been training with Peter Avalon, great wrestler, trainer.
Why do people give you grief? Because I mean, you're an established actor. I mean, from Scream, everything else, you've been here forever.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you're in the ring. So why do people give you grief about that? I mean, if it's something you love to do.
Yeah, exactly. Tell them.
I'll tell them. I said it so a bit straight in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, I actually recently talked to Vince Russo on his podcast, and then he explained it to me, and he said, you know, part of the reason he thought it would be all right is because when I first got there, I was running around. I did something with Jeff Jarrett, and I had his guitar, and I went around to all the wrestlers, had him signing it. I was just a fan, you know. And he was like, that was part of the reason. Like, it was different. Like, you know, I wasn't just an actor. I was really a fan of wrestling. So that's sort of the idea behind it. I don't know.
I was just talking to my buddy Diamond Dallas Page. Just called me on the phone a while ago. I was getting ready for the podcast, and this thing is a short turnaround because I found out David was going to be on the show literally last night.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to put some stuff together, but Page called me, and he was kind of giving me the 411 about how they kind of talked you into being the world champion, but you were against it. You argued against it.
Yeah, I said I didn't think it was a good idea, but then like after a few minutes, I was like, well, it would be fun just to, you know, travel and get a little taste of the business. So, yeah.
And hanging around the guys, whether it was at a TV taping or on the road, I mean, traveling with someone like Hulk Hogan, who, you know, is one of the absolute biggest names in the history of the business. I mean, how was the road life for you? I mean, because it's different out there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty fast-paced, if you know what I mean.
It's fast-paced. I didn't know what was going on. I mean, when I won the belt, they gave it to me. They said, you're in charge of this. I was like, what? Like, I'm literally carrying this? Like, they're like, yeah, and you can't check it.
I can't believe they trusted you with that belt.
I can't
either.
Well,
I could see that they put it on you, the storyline. But man, when you start toting that thing around, sounds like a good idea at the time. But man, every time you go through baggage claim, not every baggage claim, every time you go to check your bags, and you got to carry it, you know, with you.
Yeah.
Because if you put it in your suitcase and you lose that damn thing, you're up shit creek.
No kidding.
So, what did you think about the responsibility of the belt? Because there's so many times. I mean, out of all the years I was on the road and holding the various belts that I held, sometimes you'd be riding down the road, and this is when I was traveling by myself, and I'd be like, okay, man, well, what all happened last night? And like, man, I know I put that belt in the suitcase, but man, I'd pull over on the side of the road just to make sure I had the damn thing locked in my suitcase. I'd open my trunk, go through my shit, like, okay, now, and I don't want to get all the way to the show. It's like, oh man, I lost it.
I know. My favorite thing was sort of bringing it out to the fans, having them take pictures with it. And, You know, it was an interesting experience just walking through a airport with Hulk Hogan and like him knowing the person at the newsstand, you know, like knowing him from years and years going through this airport. Just, it was pretty amazing. Just sitting on an airplane and I'm reading something and Sting pushes his head between the seats and says, "What you reading?" This is so surreal. I can't even take it. And talking to Hulk Hogan about Andre the Giant and Ric Flair about stories and running around naked under his robe and just get wasted.
There's a million Ric Flair stories, and most of them are wild and most of them are true. Yeah. And to me, you know, I have a ton of respect for Hulk Hogan, where he took the business when he took it to the places that it was. But, you know, also because I'm like a real hardcore wrestling fan, you know, I consider Ric Flair to be the greatest, you know, world champion of all time. That's my opinion. Yeah. I think Shawn Michaels is the greatest in-ring performer of all time. Yeah. Like when you were coming out of Virginia and then going through Chicago, ended up out here in L.A., did you ever go out there to Olympic Auditorium and catch any of that action?
No. Mainly it was down at the sports arenas.
Sports arena,
we check it out. Yeah, that's usually.
Who were some of your favorites?
My favorites were Andre the Giant was just such a spectacle to watch. Hulk Hogan, I was always a Hulkamaniac. Macho Man was truly like one of my favorites, but I always thought he didn't treat Miss Elizabeth as well as he could have. But I just loved his flamboyancy and his just sort of whole character. I loved Jimmy Superfly Snuka. I loved Junkyard Dog. That's sort of my whole time period. You know, Jimmy Hart. I loved Bret Hart. Like that whole thing. Bobby Heenan. You know, that whole time period was my whole world growing up, and just, you know, it's such a. But what I've learned like since, it's just been so interesting learning about the structure of a match and learning about you know. Capturing the audience, telling a story, you know, building a feud, and then just the moves and the pain on the body is just crazy. What I didn't know when I wrestled RJ Cities, I had 3 broken ribs. I went down right before RJ. I studied with some luchadors down in Mexico.
How long?
Tijuana. Just for a week. They taught me a bunch of stuff. I did a 8-man tag team match, and we had this crazy thing. I jumped off the top rope onto the floor, and supposed to go crossbody, but I went straight up and caught a head right in my chest, and that was really hurting. It was hard to breathe, hard to sleep, and all that. And I was like, I thought something was wrong. I got an X-ray, they didn't see anything, and I just knew something was wrong. I couldn't take any bumps, but then I had to do my match. We did our match, and it was crazy and fun. I took a knee to the face, which
I saw that. There was a still of that on.
Yeah.
It looked like a pretty good shot.
It was a good shot. It was good.
My brother had to lay it in to protect the business.
Exactly. By the way, it's so much realer than when people think. It always upsets me when people say wrestling's fake, but you know, it might be predetermined, but it's like choreographed MMA. I mean, it's like out there. There's like moments where you're like, don't pass out. You know what I mean? You're seeing stars, you're spinning around, you barely catch your feet and trying to get your breath. But the one thing I'm trying to get is taking your time. I mean, that is so important. And I'm watching, what's been great about this experience is just studying. And with the WWE Network, you could just watch all these old matches. You could follow different people's careers, and you could just see all the sort of arc. And then you watch the real pros and the way they take their time in the ring and the way they set stuff up.
But have you noticed something like in acting, the few times that I acted, and I haven't done it in a long time, but going back to those days and when I first got into business, you know, usually a rookie's biggest mistake or his first mistake or someone that's green is rushing something, rushing things in the ring or rushing lines on set just because you want to get it out there or you want to make it perfect. And so it's all memorization, and you're thinking too much and you're just throwing shit out there.
Absolutely.
But when you take your time, you know, like you as you know, a very seasoned actor, did your acting experience help out any with your performance or with respect to promos?
A little, but the promo game's a lot harder than you'd think. You know, I've been acting, 29 years now, and there's a skill to it. There's a thinking on your toes. There's, and then you watch all the pros. You watch Ric Flair cut a promo or those are like out of control. You cut a promo. I mean, you in the ring, just, my goodness, it's a whole different world. So, you try to I'm literally just trying to soak it all in, just learn. But yeah, the rushing thing it's still big. Like, I thought I took my time, and then I saw some things back, and I still was like, wow, that was in my head. This was so long. Like, I got to hurry something up. You don't have to, you can really, take your time and be meticulous. And you want to, so nobody gets hurt. You do the moves as good as possible and make them look good and engage. And you need a moment for the audience to react. I mean, there is a element with theater and wrestling, obviously, that's similar. That probably helped more than any film stuff I'd ever done. So just sort of knowing the temperature of the audience, sort of just like trying to sit and you try something, you see it doesn't work. How can you make an adjustment so that maybe it will work better next time?
When you're in the back, that match you just had with RJ City, was that the main event?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you watch the entire card, or were you back there sitting there thinking about your match? Because a lot of times I would be the main event, be on the house show, this, that, or whatever, on the circuit. And a lot of times, if you're not watching matches, you don't know what the hell everybody else is doing. So, half the crew might have worked a headlock series, or the other, half the crew might have worked the arm.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're like, well, I was going to work the arm, but everybody's been working the arm, so I need to do something different.
Yeah.
Let's skip all that, but what are you thinking before that match? Are you nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs?
Yeah, I sure was, man. I was super nervous, but I did watch some of the matches. They had a TV so we could watch it backstage, but I was nervous. I mean, it's nerve-wracking. But
what do you like about it?
What do I like about it?
Yeah.
I like that I like the history of it, the fact that it came off of this carnival circuit, and that there is this circus vaudeville kind of feeling to it, and that it's performance, and it's this larger than life. It's almost like you're, in a way, gods in a way. So it's I like the relationship with the fans and the storylines, and I like the characters. I like larger than life stuff. I like the clothes, and I like the attitude, and you have to figure out your character, and you have to, own it, and you have to sell a story to them. I don't know, there's something about the performance of it that really is interesting. And then you combine it with athletics. This is, you're fighting, it might be some, planned stuff, but you're in a fight, and you really kind of and you get that fight feel, and you're, and it hurts, and you're angry at moments, and you're, having to, be smart about moves, and all this stuff just charged me up. I had no idea how much of a part of the fight world it was,
I only saw, I think there's about a 4.5 minute clip on the internet right now of the match. How long did you guys end up going?
I think we were about 6 to 8 minutes, somewhere around there, probably about 8 minutes, maybe a little longer.
So you didn't put in a crazy amount of time.
No, it wasn't a too long. Well, the match wasn't that long, but it was structured in an interesting way where it told a story and had the audience kind of wanted something and holding it back and then giving it to them, that kind of stuff.
Now, how long has RJ City been working?
He's been working a while. He's a really talented guy. I'm not sure exactly how long.
But you felt comfortable. I mean, because this guy's leading the match. If you guys were doing a movie, he'd probably be coming to you for some guidance. But obviously, I mean, you're trusting this guy.
Oh, yeah. He's been doing about 8 years or something. He's based out of Greektown in Toronto, and he drives all over. He's wrestling all the time, and he's got an interesting thing. He's really great on the mic. He's really great on Twitter. I was trying to have wars with him. He was just destroying me at every turn. I'm an old guy. I don't know how to do Twitter. This. Yeah. I mean, that's how you do it now. You announce matches there. You cut promos there. You build up the whole thing because people are flying all around. So you get these feuds going. And that's sort of how it all started, which was interesting. It came up because he was, giving me a hard time on Twitter, and then we just started going at each other.
The Steve Austin Show. The Steve Austin Show.
You own or rent your home? Sure you do. And I bet it can be hard work. You know what's easy? Bundling policies with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. It's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around your home. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com. Once you get into the match, one of the things, anytime I've had a layoff, a break, an injury, or whatever, been out of the ring for, an appreciable amount of time, getting back in ring shape is a sumbitch. And when I first came to WWF, told the story a million times, but I was working with Savio Vega, and for 2 months, I was sucking wind because, man, you can do elliptical, you can do the treadmill. I don't give a shit what you do. It ain't like being in the ring. It's not like unloading on a guy with kicks or punches or shining him up, running high spots, getting some heat on him. It just exhausts you. And it's like, in many ways, just like training for an MMA fight. The best training is the actual doing. Yeah. So how long did it take you to get your, lungs full, ready to go, and not sucking wind and blowing up?
About 4 months. I lost 40 pounds.
What were you weighing?
I know.
You look
I was
good right now.
Yeah, thanks, man. I was weighing 219, 220. Yeah, I was getting up there. It was pretty much the biggest I'd ever been. And then, so I did a lot of jiu-jitsu. That was a good way of just sort of keeping my air. A lot of boxing, a lot of hiking, a lot of running, a lot of weights and all that. You look like you could go in the ring right now, man.
I'm making
exactly
a comeback.
The same.
It's going to be me and David Arquette.
My gosh.
Los Angeles City champion.
You look amazing, man. You can still do it. I mean, you are my favorite.
Tell me about the MMA training you've been doing.
Just jiu-jitsu.
Dude, that blows my mind the way that has just, I'm a huge UFC guy, MMA,
yeah.
But just the level that it's gotten to now, those guys and gals are absolutely sick.
Yeah, Higan Machado is my trainer, and he's a long line of MMA sort of champions from Brazil. And he had cousins with the Gracies and all this, so he's an amazing teacher. He's taught me everything, and it's just, obviously I'm just new to it all and just learning all this stuff. But it's fun when you see something that's sort of combined. Like I was training, I put a ring in my backyard just so I could hit the ropes and rolls and train out there and work with Peter out there. And then and I was doing something and I did one lock that was more of a real lock. Whoa, hold on now. Because you could easily kind of pop someone's arm and, you got to be careful.
How far along with the jiu-jitsu are you? Do you have a belt?
No, I'm just white belt, yeah.
What about the boxing?
Boxing, yeah. I'm just, Ricky Keeley is my trainer in boxing. He's a former champion. Both of these guys are big champions, so just learning from the best and just getting out there, just getting the win is really the thing. Like,
do you know one of the hardest things about me for boxing was I went to train with this guy and right down the street, and he goes, "You want me to train you like an actor or an athlete?" Yeah. Of course, I said an athlete because I am much of an actor, and so all that meant was when I dropped my hands, rather than him tapping me, he was going to swat the shit out of me. It only takes a dude to swat the shit out of you a couple times. Like, I better keep my friggin' hands up.
Oh, yeah.
But, dude, that was one of the hardest things. My anterior delts are on fire because I've never held my hands up, like that for any extended period of time. So I was like, man, dude, this is way harder than it looks. And then on the backside of that, my footwork is terrible. In pro wrestling, I came out of a football background.
Yeah.
So I never had any footwork with respect to throwing a punch or boxing. In boxing, it's all about the footwork.
Yeah.
But in pro wrestling, I don't know if you remember a guy named Mark Merrow. Way back in the day, it was WCW days.
Yeah.
But
of course.
Mark was like a shoot boxer, like a 3-time Golden Gloves guy. and a really talented boxer. But when you were taking his punches, they would come so fast, so quick, and you couldn't really see them because that's a good boxer.
Right.
And so it was like it's hard to sell them, and they hurt. Like me, I'm coming from way back here. This is a swinging. This is swinging. Barn door right. That's all I had. Never use the left hand. Doesn't have a jab. It's way back here with the right hand. Which when you're in row 100, it translates. You can see it. His shit was coming so fast, it was awkward. You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about, but just watching, sitting across the table from you, having you explain your punch is just a thrill for me. Jeez, that's amazing, man. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a whole different thing. Even the footwork, like, sort of, you don't want to be too deliberate with it and make it like you don't want it to look dancey, but it is more sort of calculated.
And it's turning.
Yeah.
I ain't worth the shit at it. I quit boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great workout, though.
Yeah, it is. It is a good workout. Good for that kind of stuff. And shredding some weight.
Dude, what are you doing? Who are you training with right now?
Peter Avalon.
Okay, now tell me about his background, his experience.
Oh, he's great. He's out of championship wrestling from Hollywood.
Yep.
And he also's got championship wrestling from Arizona. They do a show down there, too. So, and he's just on the circuit, PPA all day is his thing. He's got PP Ray. He's also got a tag team partner, Ray Rojas. So they're good guys, man. They're all just it's Dave Marquez runs the place out there, and they're just great, like real wrestling business right now. There's a lot of really interesting indie stuff going on in Southern California. So I'm going to all these shows, meeting all these guys. And, I trained one day with the Santino brothers, with Tyler Bateman. I've got a match coming up at Lucha Vavoom on October 24th and 5th. And Scorpio Sky's going to be in it, so I met with him.
Where's that event going to be at?
That's going to be at the Mayan Theater downtown.
In L.A.?
In L.A., yeah, it's fun.
It's by and see that.
Yeah, are you kidding? Oh, my God, I would die. But it's burlesque dancing and lucha wrestling, so it's pretty cool. I got a whole lucha outfit made. Infinito is my lucha. I got a big infinity sign that make up my eyes. I'm trying to get the guys that I train with in Tijuana to come up, and so we'll have another 8-man match. So that would be cool if I could do that. But I studied with Scorpio Sky, who's another amazing wrestler.
What is it's interesting that the lucha style, because I'm a huge fan of the stuff. When we used to film a reality television show down in Mexico, and so I got, the best of the best stuff down there. And it's hard to catch in America anymore. And a lot of the guys in Lucha Underground are luchadors and really, really good. But I don't really understand the psychology of Lucha Libre stuff, because it's almost like, one side shows off for a little bit, the other side shows off for a little bit. I mean, it's great action, great athleticism, and then, either the Rudos or the Technicos win.
Yeah.
Does that confuse you working with, that type of psychology versus American-based psychology, which is basically heel shines a baby up?
Yeah.
Baby looks good. Heel cuts him off, gets some heat, a couple little build-ups there for some, some false, high spots or, hope spots. And then you do your manic comeback where the babyface is tired of the heel cheating and he says, F it. And he just starts throwing hands, big comeback, false finishes, finish.
Yeah, man.
Do you get confused?
A little bit. I mean, I just followed their lead because it's their world, but I just told them sort of my take. I'm not really a wrestler, so I'm kind of scared to go in the ring. So then they kind of built on that, and they would I was last to go in. I was kind of like hiding, and, my crew's getting all beat up, and I should be tagging him, but I'm too chicken. And then finally the guy pulls me in, beats me up, and then I get something on it. Oh no, he runs at me, and I dodge, and he hits the buckle. And then I kind of get some heat. Then I start clotheslining everyone. Then I start clotheslining my side. I clothesline the ref. Just kind of like that whole thing. But it worked, and it translated without even me knowing Spanish or anything. Or, it worked. The crowd sort of was against me at first, and then were cheering for me at the end after I jumped off the top. So the whole thing sold. So it was good. I like the tradition of it. Like, you know, after I clotheslined everybody, I apologized to the crowd. Like, I'm sorry, I'm out of my head.
That's usually not like me.
Yeah. It was so fun, though. It was really good.
How are you about listening to things in the ring? But like guys calling a high spot. All of a sudden, I was working with Lawler. Jerry the King Lawler is one of the greatest of all time. And Memphis a long time ago. And I can't hear very good. And 3 nights in a row, I work with Lawler. And Lawler's the kind of guy that when you first start pacing around the ring, he starts calling high spots. And he's, you know, moving his mouth like a ventriloquist. So normally I kind of halfway read lips when I'm talking to people. And, you know, he's walking around, and basically the spot he's calling is, you know, he's going to grab a headlock. It's going to be a tackle, drop down, hip toss. And he's going, tackle, drop down, hip toss, you know, and he's talking like this. We're in the damn ring. Mid-South Coliseum. I can't hear shit. So, you know, I'm like, I was so green. I think he was mad that he booked himself with me because he was running the book. Do you have a hard time picking shit up in the ring?
I'm literally just learning all this stuff and just figuring it out and just learning how to say it without somebody seeing it or just even hear or understand what they're saying. Like, I'm still like putting pieces together. Like, oh, what move is that? You know what I mean? In my head, so I need to like structure it out probably a lot more than most people. But yeah, that whole part of it, you know, I was one time in the ring with Jeff Jarrett and I completely went blank. I didn't know where we were, what we were doing. And he's sitting there, nut chuck. And I'm like, what the fuck is he saying to me?
Dude on the front row said, hit him in the nuts.
Exactly. I was like, oh, nut shot. Finally.
One of them or both of them? If you like to study, like everybody knows, I'm a huge Flair fan. I'm like an anybody fan. I just like high-level people, you know, who are mastering the craft. But if you watch Flair, go back and study some of his stuff, watch the 3 Steamboat matches, watch the matches he had in 88 through 90 as well with Barry Windham. But watch Flair because, you know, he had a big head full of hair, but it wasn't super long. But even when he cut his hair, you know, when Flair's making a call, you know, if you and me are like head to head and he's picking Steamboat up or something like that, he's calling there, or he'll always wrap his hand around somebody and he keeps his mouth concealed. I mean, you can almost never see Ric Flair make a call. And to me, that's the art of it. Even though I had a bald head, I didn't have no hair to cover. Yeah. Normally you couldn't see my calls either. And so I'm just very leery about that. Whatever level you're at, whether it's indie, federation, or whatever, you're trying to do the best you can.
Yeah.
So you don't want anybody to see those calls because you want to suspend their disbelief.
Yeah.
But it's art.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if I'll ever get to the point where I'm calling a match at all.
I mean, you're a 46-year-old rookie.
I know, exactly. I mean,
but dude,
I mean, I love the idea of these guys calling the match without even planning anything. I couldn't imagine. I mean, that whole idea, that just makes me nervous.
But you know what's so fun, David? Like when I first broke in, I was in Dallas for about 2 months, and they were just beating the shit out of me. The heels coming through town, beating the shit out of me with kendo sticks and weightlifting belts, you know, getting heat on those white meat baby faces, long-haired, you know, ex-football player. Then I went to Tennessee, you know, Jerry Jarrett was running the territory. And many times, you know, if we're like at Nashville Fairgrounds, a lot of times when you go to wrestling matches, the heels and babies come out of the same damn locker room. Not at the fairgrounds, 2 different dressing rooms, 2 different directions. So the referee would go, me and you are working. You're working baby, I'm working heel. Hey, man, David, you're going to go over on Steve tonight. Just catch him with something quick. You know, whether it's going to be a small package, just a backslide, anything, whatever we come up with or you come up with. And a referee will come up to me and, hey, man, David's going to catch a quick one on you. Oh, okay, I'll call it. Dude, tell him to catch me in a backslide. 1, 2, 3. And so we'll go out there, and all you know is a finish. All I know is a finish. But since I'm the heel, I'm going to be calling everything. And the beauty about that, even though it can be like nerve-wracking because if you're not really experienced, the thing that's so that is so liberating about it or free about it is that you don't have shit to remember. All you know is, hey, you're going to backslide me for the finish. We're going to make up the rest, and I'm going to tell you what we're doing, and you fill in the blanks as well. But when you're working like that, and you don't have to remember A through Z, dude, it is a walk in the park.
Wow, that's fascinating,
it's a lost art form.
No kidding. That is fascinating.
But then also, I mean, because when you're out there, you're doing something to elicit a response. Based on that response, you proceed accordingly. So that is crowd psychology, at its best, because if you're manipulating that crowd, they ain't manipulating you. You're dictating to them what's going to happen, whether they buy in or not, or whether if they're invested enough in that match, the characters or the story, remains to be seen. But that's the task at hand. And that's what's so interesting about being in a weekly territory all the time. When you're working the same 6 towns every single week after week after week, dude, your chops better be up because you got to be good.
Right.
And it's like when you were, doing the bulk of your acting, the busier you are, the better you are. And like if somebody hands you a bunch of dialogue right now, I don't know how well you take it in or remember it, but probably because you've been doing it so long, you would. But like me, if you handed me a bunch of dialogue right now, because I ain't remembered shit forever, it'd take me a while until you get those, the muscle memory in your brain to remember all that shit. All of a sudden you can hand someone some dialogue, people that are working actors every single week.
Yeah.
Shit, they just look at it and they got it.
Yeah. They'd probably tell you in a promo, just say this, like get that over. Then you're so comfortable in what you're doing that you could weave all the other stuff together. I guess that's what it comes. That's kind of how it starts working. If you're on a show or something, when they start giving you a lot of dialogue, then you're like, your character so well anyway. I don't even need this big chunk here. That's just I'm repeating myself or something like that. So you make it kind of work. So I always find it better and it's just like sort of wrestling when you're working with somebody and it starts making sense. And, and usually if something's, not working, it's not working because either what you're saying is not working or it's not true to the character, it's not true to the story. And it's showing you right there that you got a problem with this scene. So you have to take a second to let's fix this. Let's figure it out. And then maybe it is just getting rid of this big chunk because you're going to cut it anyway later. I don't know, man.
What about
that stuff is just so cool.
The Steve Austin Show. The Steve Austin Show.
You own or rent your home? Sure you do. And I bet it can be hard work. You know what's easy? Bundling policies with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. It's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around your home. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com.
This is the Steve Austin Show.
Man, how busy are you with the acting thing? Are you on a sabbatical from acting? Have you stopped? Are you working on a project right now?
Yeah, I'm about to go away and do a movie.
What you
I don't even know what it's called. Like Appalachian. It's called Appalachian. But
you need a bald-headed dude playing a banjo?
I'm gonna. By the way, you're in my head now. I'm gonna start looking for some stuff because you're perfect. By the way, and it's so stupid about Hollywood that they're just not even like understanding, like, whoa, you're like sitting here, they're doing 150, 200 shows in town. You're not like a regular great ass character in some show. It's just ridiculous. This town is ridiculous. They don't get it. One thing they don't understand or respect, I mean, The Rock has done an incredible job in showing sort of how you can link it and do that with so many like great wrestlers and actors, so that part infuriates me. It's also like me going out and wrestling again. Some people are like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? I called my friend Scott Kahn, who's a great guy, great actor, but we're doing a documentary following the whole process of doing this. And I'm like, come on, Scott, we did Ready to Rumble together. You got to come down the documentary. He's like, nah, I'm scared. I'm like, because even like Ready to Rumble, wrestling or whatever was just not, it's not, his dad was in The Godfather. So he's like, I think he's trying to.
Dude, I see his dad at Gold's Gym all the time.
Oh, yeah? He's a great guy. Legend.
I hadn't seen him in many years because I stopped going to Gold's. But so Scott, the wrestling window is closed for him.
Yeah, I think so. But he's black belt in jiu-jitsu. Amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's been just studying jiu-jitsu since before we did Ready to Rumble. Guy's an amazing guy. He's an incredible actor, too, and I get it. And he's more of a serious actor, too. So Ready to Rumble was kind of like something he doesn't really do. And he's doing the Hawaii Five-0 now thing, but it's like more of a job, you know what I mean? Not like the kind of quality actor. Because he's an amazing writer, too. He writes all these incredible plays. He's a serious actor, so I get it. But it's also something that kind of pisses me off that people don't get, even in studying it and finding out, like looking at the history and then all of the, I finally like figured out why people got so mad about me. And then it's like this heritage and this history and this, you know, this art form that it was disrespecting, but by doing it the way it went down. But just learning about it all, I can see. But then it just makes me even madder about Hollywood not taking it seriously, or like, you know, and I guess they have to take it serious when, you know, WWE sells the rights to Raw for a small country. Yeah.
Hey, man, when you won the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, that was in the year 2000, correct? Yeah. It's 2018 now. Social media was non-existent back then. If it had been, I would imagine you would have caught a shit pile of grief.
Oh, yeah.
From the hardcore wrestling fans. Yeah. Because, I mean, I think you caught enough flack over 18 years ago.
I still do it. I mean, I get it. Some guy today, I'm literally like, that was part of the reason I came back. Because I'm literally like the low bar. Like, that's a worse decision. Bubba Dudley wrote, when IHOP did IHOP, they turned like the International House of Pancakes, International House of Burgers, and he said that's a worse idea than making David Arquette. You see it, Tommy? Oh, I was like, come on.
But you know what, man? If you're going to be, and I think the same thing is true with the acting as in pro wrestling or show business in general or life in general, dude, you got to have thick skin.
Yeah.
If somebody says something that's going to hurt your feelings, you know, you got to just say F them and move on down the road. Because if you're going to get your feelings hurt, shit. I mean, you're going to have it on a daily occasion.
Absolutely. I'm not like losing real sleep about it. It's more like, you know, I grew up as a kid in LA and we were tough. You know, if somebody's messing with us, we'd get in fights, we'd get beat up. You know what I mean? We wouldn't back down if some punk's like, you know, being a jerk, you know, or messes with your girl. You know, you're not gonna like sit there, even if they're big, whatever it is. You get beat up if they're big, or you beat them up, and that's even better. So then, like, when you get into a situation where like you're the punk and you're the bitch, it just makes me like, oh, really? I want to fight, but you know, I'm not a tough guy, but I'm not a tough guy.
Hey, man, one time, it was about 12 or 13 years ago, I came by your crib. You was living out in Malibu.
Yeah.
And we were discussing the show, and I can't remember what it was about.
Oh, yes. This is exactly what it was. It's still the greatest idea. We had you come out because I wanted you to do a Judge Judy show called Stone Cold Justice. Yeah. And you'd be the judge, and you'd dole out the justice.
Callie, my black lab, just came over and interrupted the podcast. This is an award-winning podcast, and they never won a damn award, David. And no Callie's here to interrupt us. But anyway, so you left Malibu. You're out in Encino now.
Yeah.
How long have you been here? Because I've been out here 15 years, and LA has drastically changed in 15 years. You've probably been out here 25, 30 years?
Yeah.
Dude, how much has it changed for you, man? Because I've been reading all these articles and seeing all these birds and electric scooters and the limes, and people are madder than hornet about those things. There's an account on Twitter. Are you on Twitter?
Yeah.
What's your handle?
At David Arquette.
At David Arquette on Twitter. What about Instagram?
Same.
I mean, there's a Twitter account called Bird Graveyard or something like that. But I haven't been on it, but I was reading about it, and just in an article just the other day, like people are starting to destroy these damn things because they're making people so mad.
Yeah.
They irritate me, but I'm not going to go out and destroy a shit pile of them. What's your take on the Bird?
I like
LA forever. Well, they look cool as shit to ride on.
It's great.
But the people, man, they weak. Dude, I was just going down Washington just a while ago, and a dude was in the bicycle lane, and he swerved out in front of me. I'm like, dude, I'm in a 6,000-pound Suburban. You know, I'm not going to run over you if you stay in your lane, but if you swerve out in front of me, you're probably going to die. They don't give a shit.
They don't care.
There's some kind of mentality, and then you'll see a couple on them. And they got to be exceeding the weight limit. They don't give a shit. They need helmets. They need proof of insurance. They need a driver's license. They got to have something. But there's a lot of people that just can't stand those sumbitches?
I don't know. I think if, you're drunk coming out of a place and your car's there or a bird's there, I'd like them to get on the bird, Seems like a small problem.
I don't know, dude. Them things really irritate me.
They do.
The traffic, man. When I came here 15 years ago, that Firestone Walker Brewery right down the road, it used to be World Gym.
Yeah.
Joe Gold, before he passed away, I was fixing to go to Australia and film a movie called The Condemned. I can't believe that movie didn't win an award because it should have. I'm kidding you. But anyway, you could come off Lincoln and you could make a left-hand turn in that parking lot. Nowadays, I mean, you can't do that because there's so much more traffic. Have you noticed an increase in all the bullshit?
Oh yeah, man. It's the whole city's changed. Yeah, the traffic is out of control. Do you go like east a lot here? You probably stay in this area, don't you?
Yeah, man, I never leave.
Yeah. I just sort of figure out ways to sort of cut through. I mean, it got even worse with that whatever that app was, Waze. Yeah. And it would show people your shortcuts and stuff like that. It was a little easier before that. But yeah, you try to figure out when to drive and when not to, whatever.
Dude, I mean, if you get up in L.A. and you're driving around 5:45, 6 a.m., especially around here in Marina Del Rey, it's like, this is the place to be. Ain't nobody really out yet.
Yeah.
And then about an hour later, shit hits the fan. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah, well, where I am in Encino, we're right off the 405. And there's just certain times where everything leading up, in and out of the 405 is just parking lot.
You ever think about getting out of here?
Yeah, all the time.
Come on.
I do. My daughter's 14, so she's got a few more years till college. But after that, after she goes off to college, I think we'll be able to move because I got two little ones. I got a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. So.
You do?
Yeah, newly married. Well, it's been a few years now, but with my new wife.
God dang, dude. Is your oldest daughter, the 14-year-old, going to get in the acting business?
She loves it. That's pretty much everything she loves is acting.
It runs in your
she came
family.
to my match, and I was like, I hope I don't embarrass you because she's 14.
Yeah.
And she loved it. She was screaming at RJ and getting so mad at him and giving him the finger and all. I was like, for a 14-year-old not to be like full of embarrassment of her dad. And she was like proud of me, which was a pretty cool feeling.
So the acting runs in your family, though.
Yeah, man.
Can you get out of here? Because I talk to a lot of people, even the guy that owns a liquor store across the street, a Russian guy. He knows about any kind of liquor, beer that you want to ask about. And he goes, Steve, I've been talking to my friends for 30 years. We all talk about getting out of here, but we're still here talking about getting out of here. Yeah. It's easier said than done. It's like the Hotel California. You can check out, but you can never leave.
Yeah.
Could you leave this place, or is it kind of a security blanket for you?
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know where I'd go for one. I do. It is a security blanket. I love LA. Love the weather. Love sort of my family being close, my brothers and sisters and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know where I'd go either. I mean, it's great to think of going to Montana and living like there. You know what I mean? I don't know how much I could take that, for how long.
Dude, I think you get bored.
I know. I feel like I might too.
What do you do in your free time? I know you got kids and all that, but I mean, just for you, hobbies?
Well, as an actor, you don't work that much. You know what I mean? I mean, you're lucky if you do, if you get a regular gig, like that's the goal. But if you don't, it's job to job. You don't know when your next job is going to be. So you do crazy stuff. You take up wrestling, or we've been producing documentaries. We did a documentary called Survivor's Guide to Prison, which Danny Trejo, we produced it with him, and it's about the failed prison system. So that took us a few years to put together. We're producing a couple other documentaries. We're doing this wrestling documentary. So that's kind of stuff you do. I got a nightclub called Bootsy Bellows where we throw these big parties, and we throw huge party at Super Bowl, huge party at Coachella, huge party at Cannes. So we just kind of stay busy and kind of keep things going. That's kind of what I've always tried to do, just have other projects that you're working on in the meantime.
Dude, what's up with Coachella?
Coachella's pretty interesting. Do you like music?
Dude, are you kidding me? I'm a music fanatic. I wanted to be a rock and roll singer before I got into wrestling business, but I can't sing. I ain't got a musical talent, so I ended up being a pro wrestler. Turned out okay.
Yeah,
but I love music. But here's my thing, because living out here in L.A., I always, see when Coachella's coming up, then all the celebrities got to go out there. And they got to take their pictures and post them. They get all picked up on the internet and on their, Instagram accounts. But everybody's all got to dress all funky. Dude, if I went to Coachella, I'd be wearing the same shit I'm wearing now.
Well, you should go to Stagecoach. It's right after.
It's all the same thing to me.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the two?
Well, it's more country music, but all rock and roll and all that. Coachella's more like hipster, like young, those hippie kids.
Yeah,
and all that.
I think.
You ever been to Burning Man?
No, dude. My brother-in-law has a hunting cabin in Gerlach.
Stop.
Yeah, about 10 miles, 15 miles from where the Burning Man event takes place.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember the cafe we ate at just a few months ago. We went up there for my mule deer hunt. Oh, man, he sees all that stuff. And I heard about Burning Man for years and years and years. I've never been. And then one of my friends in Reno makes a lot of the neon that goes on out there. And, you know, when you go through Gerlach, you been there?
Yeah.
Okay, man, they got the planning committee. I mean, it's all based out of there.
Right.
And, dude, it's like, dude, it's a multi-million-dollar function.
Oh, yeah.
I've read about Burning Man. Have you been to one?
Yeah, I've been to a few times, 3 times. It's incredible, man. Do
you got to be out of your mind to go there?
No, not at all. You just by going there, you're out of your mind. Every year I'm there, I'm sitting there in a sandstorm, like it's sands everywhere. You can barely breathe. You got your jacket over your head, just making a little pocket of air, and the sandstorm's just kicking your ass. And every year I'm like, why the hell am I doing this? Like, why? But then it clears, and then you see the most insane things you've ever seen, like just these buses, $1 million buses that they've lit up to look like a giant skull, or like, you know, cupcakes that are just like zooming around. It's the greatest collection of art everywhere, and you don't exchange any money. It's crazy. The whole place is just bananas. You don't have to be wasted or anything.
Yeah, but what's the deal, man? I just hear about people walking around naked, people engaged.
Most of the people that are naked are the ones you wouldn't want to see. Guys with just shirts and their cocks hanging out. We call them shirt cockers.
What's the weirdest shit you've seen out there?
Oh, man, they have everything. I mean, I never go to the orgy tents or something, but there's just everything. Like, you will be walking along and there's a operation game sitting in the middle of the desert that's 12 to 15 feet long, you know, just sitting there but giant. It's just weird stuff, out of nowhere, stuff that'll blow your mind. And just the lights that they have there at night, the whole thing. So this whole place, and then they burn the man, and then at the end, all of this whole all these buses and all these camps all come around this big structure, and they burn it and they shoot off fireworks. It is bananas. You sit there and you're literally like, well, if a UFO is going to come down, it'd come down right here. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be the best Burning Man, when they all just come whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, it seems like it. We were looking up one time, and I was like, oh my God, it's a shooting star. Look at this shooting star. And I was just like, I can't believe, wait, there's another. It's this is like a meteor storm. And it was these guys jumping out of the airplane at night with these fireballs on them. They must have had they were literally on fire, shooting through the sky, and then they're coming down. You see the craziest stuff.
Now, when you would go, dude, you're a high-profile guy. I mean, did you have a RV, a nice setup?
Yeah, you kind of have to have an RV. Don't go camping out. I mean, the people frown on it.
Yeah,
but you need an air conditioner. The first year I went with my friend Thomas Jane. He was my brother-in-law at the time. He played the Punisher in the first one.
Good actor.
And then Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman. All three of us, we rented an RV and went down there. It was bananas. Tom's a crazy character. He's hilarious. He's just all upset because he couldn't, I don't know, he wanted to find something the night before, or he was looking for something, and he was just upset about something, and he was all mad all night. And so he wakes up in the morning, he's all mad, and then he takes off his clothes and he walks outside. He's standing out there completely naked. And he's got a stubbed out cigar in his mouth, and he's looking around, and nobody's looking at him. It's normal there. He comes back. He goes, well, if I could walk outside naked and nobody cares, I guess this place is all right.
How long were y'all there for?
We were just there for a few days. I can only be there for a few days.
How long does it last?
It lasts a week or two or something. Yeah.
What is the ultimate goal of it? I mean, it ain't raising money. Is it where you find yourself? I mean, what is it for?
There's a little finding yourself, but there's also art. I mean, it's all about the art. You just see this art. Like they have these big shrines where you bring a picture of someone you love, you put it up there, you say a prayer. At some point they burn that down, these big temples, but they'll burn these huge structures and have these huge bonfires. I mean, it's insanity.
Man, I was at like I said, this guy I know in Reno that makes a lot of the artwork out there. Man, they had this big ass octopus. It was big as this room in here, all made out of glass. And, I don't know if they lit it up or whatever. They had this dinosaur that they made. I mean, dude, elaborate.
I saw the octopus.
Very expensive. Yeah. Dude, I ain't talking about no chump change shit. I'm talking about very expensive stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And they get paid to do this. And then, dude, I saw the octopus. It's sitting in a back lot right now on the dude's Neon Factory place.
I know. I've always had the idea of just making these traveling, like a little traveling version of that, where you could just take it to a place. Instead of like a town-to-town carnival. Yeah, I love carnival.
What's up with that?
I'm a fourth-generation actor, and our family goes back to vaudeville. So my great-grandparents were on vaudeville. They, in Toledo, Ohio, just doing little shows. And my grandfather, Cliff Arquette, learned from them, started playing piano, and started going on the road. And then he made the transition into radio, and he created a character named Charlie Weaver. And he did Charlie Weaver, and he wrote Letters Home to Mama. And then from that, he went on to The Tonight Show with Jack Parr. And then he went on Hollywood Squares. He was sort of the bottom square for years. So we have this sort of connection. I think that's where, vaudeville and wrestling and carnival and throwing parties at circuses and all that stuff's sort of in my blood.
What are your sisters up to, man? They staying busy still?
Yeah, they are.
You had a sister pass away.
Alexis. Yeah, it was my transgender sister, Alexis, who was amazing person. That was rough, but whenever you lose somebody, I always fall back on when I lost my mom when I was 25, my dad a few years later, and then Alexis. But one thing that always brings me a little bit of peace at the end is just gratitude. Like, I'm so glad that they were in my life, like they were part of my world, and that they chose to be part of our family, and we got to share this finite time together. So that always helps heal that kind of feeling. But my other sisters are great. My sister Rosanna's got a show called Sideswiped on right now on YouTube, and it's really funny. She's wonderful in it. My sister Patricia, she just did a movie with Ben Stiller directing. You remember the lady Tilly, I think her name was, who helped the two guys escape from prison. She had an affair with them, and there was some lady.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then the two convicts escaped, and then they were on the run for a while, and they killed one of them, and I think they might have killed both of them. I'm not sure, but she plays that character. She put on 60 pounds and played this character, so she's an amazing lady too.
Dude, I love the part in Pulp Fiction. Yeah. That was Rosanna.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what her name was, but Travolta goes, Eric Stoltz was trying to fix him up with one of them, but Rosanna was Eric Stoltz's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And so Travolta goes, which one's whatever her name was, Trudy? This one or the one with all the shit in her face?
Yeah, exactly.
Because she had all the things, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That was an awesome movie.
That was an awesome movie. Alexis was in that movie too. Rosanna was. Alexis is the one who comes out of it was my brother at the time, comes out of the door and starts shooting at him, and then he misses him. Then they unload on him. That was Alexis.
Was it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was Alexis. Yeah, Alexis was an amazing character. She was also in The Wedding Singer, played Boy George in that. And and then Patricia in True Romance, that was sort of one of my favorites too.
That was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Dude, when you said your sister has a show on YouTube, YouTube is crazy now.
Yeah,
dude. Everything's on YouTube.
Yeah, they're doing great stuff.
It's like Phil Hartman said way back in the day, the wave of the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, totally. So now they have this sort of premium version of YouTube. So if you sign up for that, you could see how they're doing. I guess everyone's kind of doing their own content. Amazon's got Prime and all that.
Dude, it's crazy because, I mean, you got TV or satellite or whatever you want to call it with all the different channels, but there's such a demand for content. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's on television is pure shit.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, there is a void for, they want good stuff, but there's some pure shit out there which gets picked up because they need content.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. There's a lot of good television, though. They're making some good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Some good stuff out there. Check us out. You and me riding around in my Ford Bronco. Fighting crime.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Come on. We should shoot that ourselves.
But I've got to have something I'm trying to overcome because we got to have some diversity.
Oh, yeah.
Got to get people to identify with our characters. You've got a problem, too.
I've got a lot of problems. That'll be easy to find.
When's the next wrestling match?
Next wrestling match is September 2nd, I believe.
How often are you working out? How often are you training?
I trained 2 times this week wrestling, but I need to wrestle more. It's a little hard to find like the right thing, but I've been working out every day. I mean, doing weights and doing cardio. But this one's with Frank the Clown. He was at WWE for a little while with a little show, and Ellsworth.
Really?
And then, I'm going to team up with RJ City as my tag team partner, who he doesn't want to do it, but he's doing it for the...
Begrudgingly.
Yeah, begrudgingly, and perhaps to get on a talk show or something. That's all he wants.
When you get in your ring, I'm guessing you have a 16 or 18 foot ring.
Yeah, 16. Yeah.
Okay, 16. Man, 16s are very economical or efficient as far as it's hard to blow up in a 16 footer. When I was working for WWF way back in the day, a lot of the smaller towns in Cape Cod or wherever, they're called tent shows. It goes back to our carnival stuff, right? But the 16 footers we're used to. In WCW, it was an 18 foot ring. All of a sudden you go to WWF, it's a 20 footer, and like, oh man, there's a lot of space in here. And then you get in that 16 footer, it's like, oh man, this is heaven because you can't blow up. So when you're out there screwing around or just running the ropes, do you do any drills?
Yeah, I mean, I do my rolls, do all the rolls, and sort of go through the ropes and hit the ropes and all that kind of stuff.
Man, get on a little tear, hit the ropes. Let's just say hit the ropes 10 times.
Yeah.
Do a couple of flat backs. Get up, flat back. Start hitting the ropes, crisscross. Go to a corner. Start stomping the shit out of the bottom turnbuckle 10 times. Go the other one. Keep hitting the ropes. Drop down. Get up. Do a burpee, a push-up, or whatever. Yeah. It's all those little drills like that. And think about it. When you first get in the wrestling business, a lot of people are allergic to hitting the ropes because it's not just like, hey, just run out there and it's easy, because there's an art and a technique to it. You hit them with your kind of like your right side predominantly. If you're right-handed, well, it doesn't matter what hand you are. You're not really trying to hit it with your whole back. You're kind of hitting it more, just kind of sidey back. And also, you're hooking that rope each time you hit it. Because if that summit breaks, you want to be able to catch it here and save yourself from hitting the floor.
Right.
So some people, when they'll just run to the ropes, turn around backwards, and just try to ricochet off of them like that. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dude, you get your ass killed like that. Yeah. So do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been having a lot of fun learning that, but it's
did your ribs get all bruised up?
Oh yeah, man, your ass, yeah. Everything about it's hard, and everything about it hurts, but it's just trying to get comfortable with it. You know what I mean? It's such a foreign thing if you aren't doing it all the time.
Tell people where they can find you on social media, and let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah,
any important words of wisdom, if you have any.
Just at David Arquette. That's about it.
That's the bottom line.
This has been a Podcast One production. Download new episodes of The Steve Austin Show every Tuesday at PodcastOne.com. That's PodcastOne.com.
What's better than courtside seats? Free sports on Pluto TV. Hey sports fans, get all your sports free on Pluto TV. Pluto TV is your home for sports. Watch 24/7 channels of MLB, MLS, MMA, sports news and analysis, plus documentaries, TV shows, and movies, all for free. No signups, no fees, no contracts, ever. Download the free Pluto TV app on any device.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night,
and welcome to T-Pain's Nappy Boy Radio Podcast. The most fun you'll ever listen to while you're folding your clothes. Now let's get this straight. This is not your average podcast. T-Pain's Nappy Boy Radio is super fun, super crazy. It's pretty much an in-your-face conversation. That's the good thing about us. We don't do interviews. We do conversations. All of my guests, all of my co-hosts, we chill. We drink, we play games, we have the song of the week, we have the creative curse word of the week, as long as you're having fun as our guest. Speaking of guests, each week I'm going to go through my whole contact list and dive head first into the world of music, gaming, exotic cars, tech, strippers probably, doctors probably strippers that are only stripping so they can pay for tuition to become a doctor. You never know. My wife is a certified bartender. She'll make you a drink while you're here. We'll get you drunk and make you play VR after. It's a lot going on. But that's what it's all about over here at T-Pain's Nappy Boy Radio Podcast. See you soon, baby!
Yo, what's good? It's your boy, Big Brother Jake, a.k.a. Jake Warner, my government name. Check it out. I host a show called the Big Brother Jake Podcast, and I've taken my talents to the biggest and baddest platform on the planet. That's right, baby. PodcastOne. My show is unique as I talk about everything. Life, sports, entertainment, being a single dad juggling several jobs. I'm a hot mess, but it's damn entertaining. Subscribe and review now on Apple Podcasts and listen on PodcastOne or wherever you get your podcasts.